That's a big part of the reason me and George's friendship kind of fell apart. So here's my side of the story. I went over to his house at like maybe 10 or 11 a.m. and I had the code to his door. And I went in and I go upstairs and I walk to his room and like knock, I think. And Anna was in bed and George wasn't there. I was like, where's George? She's like, oh, he's in the office. So I turn around and go to the office. Or he's like, not now, bro. And I was like, what's wrong? And then he shut the door in my face. And I was like,
it's weird.
All right. And then we didn't talk to each other for 3 months.
No way.
Welcome into the podcast, another episode of Livin Large. Today's episode is not an interview. We're doing two-man show vibes. I got my boy Iggy on the pod.
What's up, boy?
Welcome in. I used to do this with George Janko, but that show died and he went and did his own thing, so I replaced him with another man that looks like him.
He's a similar skin-toned man. Yeah, you're welcome.
Me and Iggy did an episode. We posted on TikTok. It went crazy viral. The YouTube audience didn't like it.
It's okay. We'll try to give him something else.
No, I'm working on getting the YouTube back. It's just a consistency thing. Yeah. But main reason I'm doing this, guys, is I wanna share some stories and some viewpoints of myself. And when I'm doing the interviews, I don't get to talk about myself. So it's just like all the focus is on the guest. So I'm gonna do one of these a week with Iggy, two-man show vibes, and yeah, we're just gonna share some stories.
It's gonna be cool. You've had so many people on. Mm-hmm. Like, you've heard so many interesting stories. It'll be nice to like finally get your feedback on any of it.
And I feel like I have a lot of things to share, and I've been through a lot as a 30-year-old now. And I want to start things off too. Iggy's been a really good friend of mine, more so over the last couple years, right?
For sure. Yeah.
We used to live together at 1600 Vine.
Well, next to each other.
Next to each other at 1600 Vine, and then we started hanging out over COVID. But you've been a really good friend to me, and you offer. I mean, you're older. You're 37, right?
I'm an old man. Yeah, my bones hurt. Yeah.
But you've been through way more than me, especially with like, you know, whether it be relationships, life in general. You've experienced a lot more, and I really value our friendship, and I wanted to thank you for that.
Thanks, man.
Because
I wasn't expecting this level of sweetness.
Yeah, because I think it's really important who you surround yourself with, especially after a breakup.
Yeah.
Just gonna give an example of a poor friend. So this girl asked me to get drinks the other night. And this is kind of like a am I the asshole situation.
Sure.
Am I the asshole?
Any girl's going to tell you that you are the asshole.
Okay, so am I the asshole? You guys tell me. She asked me to get drinks. My buddy Patrick's in town. And I'm like, all right, my buddy's in town. Like, I want to take him out and whatever. So I said yes. And keep in mind, I'm like sober. I'm working out. I'm waking up at 5. I'm waking up at 5 in the morning now. I'm eating healthy. So I say yes because I'm like, all right, Patrick would probably want to go out.
Is this like late night? Is it a weekday?
This was Wednesday. She asked to get drinks Thursday.
Okay.
So Thursday morning comes around. I wake up at 5:30. I hit the gym. I do my diet. I just feel really good.
You're locked in.
I'm locked in.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? I don't want to go get drinks tonight because I'm sober right now. I'm not talking to any women. I don't want this to turn into anything. I'm just focused. So at noon, she wanted to get drinks at 7 with me and Pat and her friend. At noon, I text her, hey, you know, I'm going to pass on drinks tonight. I'm really trying to better myself in this path to sobriety and just work harder and become a better person. Of course, she hits me with the, come on, like just one drink and says one more thing. And I'm just like, I don't respond. I'm like, you're not supporting my want to get better and be sober. You're being selfish. So I don't respond. And then 7 o'clock comes around and she calls me. And I'm like, oh my God. I don't answer it.
You went no comms.
No comms.
After the let's do one.
I said, I'm not coming. And then she's like, yeah, let's do one. And I'm like, I just told you I don't want to come. I want to be sober. And now you're trying to convince me to check out of my sobriety.
Sure.
So 7 o'clock comes around, she calls me, I don't answer it. And then she texts me, asshole.
Whoa!
Exclamation point. And I literally just text back and I'm like, sorry, I told you I'm not coming tonight 7 hours ago. How am I an asshole? I would get it if I was an asshole 10 minutes before or just no-showed.
Well, it was also like a very honest, transparent, like, yo, I'm trying not to drink. And by the way, you're allowed to change your mind.
Right.
You said yes the day before because in the moment, you're like, maybe this sounds like a good time. Mm-hmm. You're up at 5 a.m. You gave her plenty of notice.
7 hours.
It wasn't like, I'm going to go hang out with my boys and like, I'm going to go get drunk with other people.
Yeah.
It's, I'm doing this for a reason. don't want to go out tonight.
And she didn't respect that. And this is what I was getting at with saying you're a really good friend, because there's been times I've gone out and I'm like telling you, I'm like, hey, I'm not drinking tonight. And you're like, you're a grown ass man. You can make your own decisions, but I'm gonna punch you in the face if you
I'll check you.
You'll check me.
Yeah.
And that's the difference between, in my opinion, between a good friend and a bad friend.
Well, I mean, you also have to like categorize this lady. Like, how, you know what I mean? Like, how casual is it? And honestly, guys and girls alike, they don't like to get their ego bruised. I'm sure she's a good looking enough girl, right? Like, you canceling on her to do nothing is a little bit of an ego bruise for her. No matter what the message was. It could be like, I'm like going to be one with Christ and like go join a mission. Doesn't matter. You bailed on her. Yeah. You know what I mean?
But am I an asshole?
No, of course not.
That's what I thought. No. I thought I gave her 7 hours notice, and I'm like,
you're allowed to change your mind.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's a very sensitive response.
Also,
again,
dude, like,
it's an ego bruise. That's all.
And also after I did this in my first breakup, man, like, women don't exist to me right now.
Yeah.
And I think that you don't heal if you just dive into the next thing, because you're just going to find someone who accepts you for who you are, but you have so much shit to work on.
And we talked about this last time, right? Like, you have to have a period after anything, any like trauma, where it's like, what happened? How do I feel about it? Process how you feel about it, and then go like back out into the world. The more you drown it with people and booze and drugs or whatever, like, that stuff doesn't leave your body; it just stays in there, and it's gonna pop up at some point. Like, do you want to deal with it now, or do you want to deal with it later when the stakes are probably higher?
Why do you think people just run into the next relationship continuously?
It's like, being alone is scary. And like, doing stuff alone is scary. Working on yourself is hard and scary. Like, going into another relationship is just easy. Someone's giving me like like, oh my God, someone's there to comfort me. I'm not alone. Alone is tough, dude. When you're sad and you're going through a breakup and you're sober and it's 10 p.m. on a Friday night, the last thing you want to do is just sit by yourself on the couch and think about all the things you feel and what is she doing? What should I be doing? Like, what am I missing out? No, dude, like that's the time where when you get through that, you can actually go out and enjoy a drink and not have one and then get so drunk that you're like texting your ex at 3 a.m. Like, that's a nightmare, dude. You have to sit with your shit.
I think also part of it too is, so you get in a relationship and your partner, and then you break up. Your partner knows everything about you.
All the buttons too.
All the buttons. Yeah. They know everything that you need to work on to better yourself. And I think in a relationship, you should want to elevate each other, right? You shouldn't just want to be stagnant. But then you just, one, you're lonely. You just go hang out with whoever. 2, you meet a new person who knows none of your flaws.
Right.
And just love and likes you for who you are.
You can hide everything at that point. You can hide everything.
Yeah. You could start over fresh.
Yeah.
But the problem with that is, if you don't work on yourself, the same cycle's just going to keep repeating.
I mean, you're still you.
Yeah.
You're still your like base version. If you do, like, you can hide it for a little bit.
Yeah.
You can make people believe a version of yourself for a little bit, but eventually that shit's going to come out. Your insecurities or the things you never worked on or got through, of course it's going to come out.
I think my last breakup made me such a good person, and I'm fine. Dude, I called my dad today, and he's like, hey, I saw your podcast with Rachel Cook, and after I watched that, all your old videos that you used to make with her came up. And he's like, man, and I cut him off. And I go, Dad, I know exactly what you're going to say. I go, I watch my old videos all the time. I go, what the fuck happened to that guy? I used to be such a positive, happy, loving, like, good vibes dude. Yeah. And I know, like, you don't got to say it. He's like, yeah, like, but I feel like I'm finally getting back to that old version of me where I'm more positive and like looking forward to what's next as opposed to dwelling.
What do you think, like, I mean, life is hard sometimes. Like, it's easy to get, like, to kind of get dragged to the mud a little bit. But, like, what do you think has been the main reason that you don't see that smiley guy anymore?
I think everything started in COVID. That is where it all started. I was crushing life, and then COVID happened. And I don't know what day I started doing it or why. But one day I got red wine and came back and started playing Call of Duty. And then that became the norm. I would drink 2 bottles of red wine and play Call of Duty all night.
That's a lot of red wine.
It's a lot of red wine. And I never even drank wine before that. Yeah. I don't even know why I got wine.
Were you single at the time? Were you in a relationship?
Yeah, I was single.
Okay.
I was single. And then I saw a TikTok about a guy. He's like, did COVID turn anyone else into an alcoholic? And I resonated with it. I was like, damn, bro. Like, I used to I wouldn't call myself an alcoholic when I would drink. I was more so, I can't stop when I start.
Sure.
That kind of guy.
Yeah.
But I wasn't, getting a phone call. I wasn't drinking all the time. And then when I started playing Call of Duty, I don't know, I just became a habit. Like, oh, Call of Duty, 2 bottles of wine.
Yeah.
Boom. And that trickled. And then that's what kind of carried me into depression.
I think what people don't get about, like, we say play Call of Duty, and I think for most people who don't play video games, it's like, what a stupid waste of your time and thing to do. But it's basically hanging out with your friends. So, like, drinking a bottle of wine and playing Call of Duty is not that weird. You're basically hanging out with 3 or 4 of, like, your close friends for a couple hours.
Yeah.
If you were in, like, this setting, we'd probably have a drink in the same scenario.
Yeah, well, the reason I started playing Call of Duty was because my roommate Pearson, he went to Toronto to shoot a movie during COVID for 3 months.
Yeah.
So I was alone in this big house.
Yeah.
And
it's a great time filler.
It is, but it became a habit.
Yeah, right.
And then when I moved in alone, that's all I did.
Yeah.
So I threw away a big portion of my life and just kind of like gave up. But I have this new mindset now that like, I'm not giving up, bro.
Yeah.
I feel like a fire like I used to when I first moved out here. Maybe it's probably because of the breakup.
I was going to ask, is that like where it comes from, you think?
Yeah, but I don't think it's so much a revenge thing. Like, oh, I want to show you what you missed out on. For me, it's more so like I have so much time now that I can actually love myself instead of sitting and like dwelling. Because
it's just like, I appreciate you saying that, and like I'm fucking happy for you because it could definitely go the other way. Mm-hmm. Like if you have too much time, it could get weird. Where like now you're 4 bottles deep and you're playing Call of Duty for 6 hours.
Yeah. And
then you're rolling it into like a night out. Like when there's too much time, it can get a little scary. So like having something productive is hugely, hugely critical to make sure that you're not like spiraling into some weird stuff.
And I'm motivated right now. Like I'm loving doing the podcast again. I'm loving editing. I'm loving my routine. And I think for the second time in my life, I'm putting myself first. And that's been after both breakups.
Yeah.
I think, truthfully, in my last relationship, I got emasculated. Dead ass.
Yeah.
I became a bitch, bro.
Why do you say that?
Just like, I stopped being a man.
In what ways?
Talking about feelings too much and like feeling sorry for myself and not setting boundaries.
Yeah. Or not sticking to the boundaries.
And I just like, I became a bitch. And I'm not going to, dude, I mean, dude, I keep a lot of stuff off the internet.
Yeah.
You know, I want to be the positive guy.
Sure.
But like, I've been fucked over pretty heavy. But I'm just staying positive now. And also, I really love the stories I'm sharing on the podcast. The Path to Positivity is what I'm calling it.
Nice.
All these positive, like, because the internet's filled with such negativity, like, just want to keep positive. What were you going to say?
No, I was going to ask, like, you mentioned your dad kind of called you out on, like, seeing the difference between you now and you then. How much are they involved in your stuff? Because I know that you're close to your family, but I don't think people, like, I don't know if people know, like, where you're from and, like, that story of how you even got here.
They do. But, I mean, so when I daily vlog, my parents watch my videos every day. They still watch every video I post.
Are they still big supporters of, like, everything you're into? That's awesome.
I had a call with my dad today. I cried, bro.
No way.
It brought me to tears just because he still believes in me. He's being super supportive. And it's kind of the same situation as when I had a falling out with Logan. I never shared this, actually, but I shared this, but I never said it was him. So Logan and I were going to start a vlog together. And he accidentally sent me a text that was supposed to go to his manager. And it was talking shit about me.
No.
Yeah. And basically said I would never be successful and just a bunch of things you don't want to hear from your best friend. So that was his reason for not wanting to do the podcast or the vlog with me. It fucked me up. I was at Ty Lopez's house when I got the text, funny enough, at a party. And honestly, after I got that text, I started to really doubt myself. I called my dad and I'm like, you know, I'm never going to be successful. My best friend doesn't think I can, doesn't think I have what it takes. And my dad did the same thing, bro. He's like, he built my confidence.
That's awesome.
And he was supportive of me. And he's like, you know what? You don't need to do a vlog with Logan. You start your own. And I went to the Bahamas to get out of that negative energy that we were in because of that tension from that text. And went to the Bahamas, made my first vlog, and never looked back.
How long ago was that?
What was that, 2016, 17 maybe?
God, you've been doing this for that long? Mm-hmm. Holy shit.
But that text fucked me up, man.
I mean, I was going to ask, like, how did you respond to that? Because that's like, you guys are you have a friendship and you're like working together.
Well, I don't think I did respond.
Yeah.
I think because I was with George, I showed George the text and he's like, ooh, dude fucked up. And then I think George texted him. He's like, bro, you fucked up.
Right.
And then Logan texted me again and he's like, hey, let's talk when you're home. And then we had a conversation, whatever. But no one wants to see the true thoughts, you know?
What was that conversation like?
Can't remember. Honestly, I think I
blacked it out?
I blocked it
out.
No
way.
Yeah. I blocked out a lot of that part of my life. But yeah, anyways, getting back to it, my dad, conversation today, he still believes in me.
That's awesome.
I'm starting to believe in myself again, and it's really awesome to have like a supportive family, especially going through such a tough time.
Oh man, I mean, it's not surprising that your dad is like so supportive of you, and like it's rubbed off because I've called you, whether it be 2 a.m. or 2 p.m. about all the stuff that I've been going through, which is like, and I tell people too, like it's so easy for me to be there for you because you were there for me for years, bro.
Yeah.
So it's nice that it almost feels nice that I can repay the favor because you were so supportive of me for so long. Even though like, even in the last couple of years, we were friends, but not as close as we are now. It almost feels nice to be able to like be there for my buddy during like this shitty time you're going through, but you're getting through it.
That's also something too that I've worked on. That's a big part of the reason I've never talked about this.
Hit me.
That's a big part of the reason me and George's friendship kind of fell apart. From my side, at least, like I'm taking accountability for my end. Yeah. I'm not gonna whatever. Like I could say things that I want to say about him, but I'm just gonna take accountability for my end and how I could have been a better friend and something I've learned. I was never very empathetic, and I could see how it would frustrate him because I would come to him with my problems, and George is a very empathetic person. But when he would come to me with his problems, I was very harsh.
Yeah.
Like, get over it, bro. Like because that's how I was taught from my parents to deal with emotions. So when people used to vent to me, I'd be like, I would give them solution.
Right.
I wouldn't listen.
Right.
You know how you like in a relationship, and something I've learned now is like, do you want me to listen?
Right.
Or do you want the solution?
Is it a problem solving conversation or is it just a listening part?
I always went into problem solve. Yeah. And which is how I want. You know, I like when people listen, but I like when my dad calls me and he's like, bro, watch your old videos. You're not the same person.
Sure.
I need to be called out. So that's how I learned to get better, but not everybody learns to get better that way. So that's something that I struggled with in the past is empathy. And honestly, in my past relationship, I struggle with empathy because I don't know, man. Also, too, like if you keep complaining about the same shit over and over again,
and you do nothing about it,
at some point I got to be hard on you.
Right.
Like, come on.
Right.
Yeah.
Like if you call me 5 weeks in a row with the same problem, you might be the problem.
Yeah.
It might be a you thing. Like
or you
keep
don't
putting
want to
yourself,
fix the problem.
Right. Exactly. Do you think that like, was that kind of a cause for like the end of that friendship or that relationship?
The ultimate end was, so here's my side of the story. I went over to George's. This is back when I was getting up at 5:30 in the morning, going to the gym, vlogging a ton. I was living alone here. This is post-breakup. I went over to his house at like maybe 10 or 11 a.m. and I had the code to his door. And I went in and I was vlogging and I was like, had my vlog voice on, I would call it. I was like, yo, where's George? And Olga was up and she was in the kitchen. I'm like, where's George? She's like, oh, he's still in bed. She's like, I think he just got up. And I was like, all right, cool. And I go upstairs and I walk to his room and like knock, I think. And Shauna was in bed and George wasn't there. I was like, where's George? She's like, oh, he's in the office. So I turn around and go to the office and I'm like, George, like I'm having fun. I've been up since 6 a.m. I went to the gym. I went tanning for some reason.
You went tanning?
Yeah.
We'll talk about that afterwards.
Yeah. I'm ready to work. And he was like, not now, bro. And shut the door in my face. And I was like, or he's like, not now, bro. And I was like, what's wrong? And then he shut the door in my face. And I was like,
it's weird.
All right. So then I go downstairs and I wait for a few minutes and he doesn't come down. So I'm like, I told Olga, I'm like, hey, I'm just going to leave. And I leave and George texts me. He's like, hey, bro, so sorry. Dealing with something with my editor right now. I think I'm going to have to fire him and I'll be down in a minute. And this was maybe 10, 20 minutes after I left.
You'd already left, yeah.
I'd already left. And I just texted him. I said, I left. He's like, why? Or something like that. And I was like, honestly, bro, this is what I said. I said, honestly, I was in a really good mood and I didn't want to be around negative energy.
Which seems perfectly reasonable.
Yes. But also me reflecting on it now, I went to this man's house uninvited and walked in with a camera.
Sure.
When he just woke up. It's the comfort of his home. Like, that was on me. You know, I should have been more empathetic.
Sure.
And not selfish. Like, oh, you're not ready for my vlog. I'm going to leave. So that was my fault. And then I don't think he responded. And then I called him later that night to hang out because we were best friends.
Right.
And I treated it as like brothers. Like, oh,
that doesn't seem big enough to me to like end a relationship.
Yeah, we got over it.
Right.
So I called him 5 o'clock. I think he ignored it. And he's like, what's up? And I was like, yo, what are you doing? Like, can I come over? And then he like, I think he sent me like a text saying like, basically, I'm a shitty friend.
Jeez.
And once again, I was kind of a dick. And I said, damn, bro, I feel like I'm in a relationship right now.
Jeez.
So.
But I mean, like, you can talk to your brothers that way.
I thought so.
Yeah.
And then we didn't talk to each other for 3 months.
No way. And I know you, dude. I know when you put your foot down, you're not going to text him.
What do you mean? Bro,
like,
we literally did no contact with homies.
That's so absurd. But I know you. I know when you're like, when you have something in your head, you're going to do it. And if you're like, fuck that, I'm not going to text him one more time, you're not going to text him one more time.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And
okay, wait.
Well,
but you guys are like working together and there's just all of a sudden a 3-month gap.
Yeah, there were some other things that I won't add, but like I said, I can just take accountability for my actions. It was wrong of me to show up in his home with a camera uninvited and then tell him I don't want to be around negative energy. It was wrong of me. It was wrong of me to say, damn, bro, I feel like I'm in a relationship. But then again, I treated our relationship like him as my brother, like tough love.
Yeah.
But I guess it all just boiled up and, you know, was I a good friend in terms of being there for him? Not always.
Yeah. But I mean, you also weren't in the position to be that person for him. Like you have to grow into that too. Mm-hmm. Like it's like, I'm not giving you an out. Like you could have done better, sure. But like, I don't know, man. It doesn't feel like there's, at least just listening to the story for like 20 seconds. It seems like there's not enough there to like have it be a 3-month gap of communication with somebody that
there had to have been more to it from his end.
I mean, there has to be.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever hash that out?
He came over during COVID, but we hadn't talked for like 3 months and it was just not the same.
The gap was just too big.
We had a conversation after.
Yeah.
We hashed it out. I then again don't remember the conversation.
Yeah.
But it was just weird because to go from, it's like a relationship.
Yeah, like talking to him every day.
Every day for like 5 years to just 3 months no contact.
You think that's just kind of like the game you're in? Like this, like everything is so like your success is individual. You don't really have like, you're not part of a team, right?
I used to be. Me, George, Logan.
Yeah, but
then it was me and George more so.
But even then, everybody wants their own individual shine. Mm-hmm. Like, is that just like the competitive nature of like being a content creator, like a big one? Like, there's not enough to share?
No, I'm very happy for George that he went and he's had so much success. Like, I'm very happy for him because he's a very talented dude and he figured something out that works for him. But I just think it's growing up and growing older.
Yeah,
you know that there can't be a team 10 forever.
Right.
You know, you got to live your lives.
Right.
People are going to get married. They're going to need to provide for their family. So it's like
their interests evolve. Everything gets different.
The only person you can rely on the rest of your life is you.
Damn.
So when you're sitting, and that's, you know, a big mistake that I've made in my content creation is I built my channel into a relationship channel.
Sure.
So does it hurt when I post a video, just me in the thumbnail, and it gets 20,000 views
versus you in a relationship?
Me and a fucking chick, and it gets 100,000 or could go, you know. Yeah, it fucking hurts because it's like, it's my channel, bro. But it clearly doesn't seem like people, but that's my fault because I primed.
You curated it in such a way.
Whoops. I primed my audience into liking relationship content. And when I'm not in a relationship, that the content isn't what they want.
All right. So you've curated your audience to be ready for relationship type videos.
Yeah, but I got to rebrand now.
Yeah. Well, I hear something interesting happened to your ex-girlfriend, Mark Dohner.
Not my recent ex, my first ex, yeah. So this is funny, dude. This girl, she's like, hey, I saw your ex-girlfriend had a baby. Does that make you upset?
Wait, a girl asked you that?
Yeah. And I'm like, why the fuck would I be upset about my ex-girlfriend having a baby? That was 5 years ago, bro. She's like, well, I don't know, like, something about me, like if my ex got married and had a kid, like I would just bother me. I'm like, what?
So you want your ex to just die? Like when you break up, your ex should just die. Like they should do nothing else.
I'm happy for her, dude. Yeah. Like I know she always wanted to be a mom, so she, you know, she's achieved that. Why would I be upset about that?
You being mad would be weirder it'd be weirder for you to be mad. Mm-hmm. Like why do you still care so much about
Sorry,
this
I got a Zinachino in.
You just gotta get locked in over here. Is that 2 or 1?
1's in.
Thank God. I thought you put 2 in. It was psychotic.
What were you gonna say?
Like, it just means that you're kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
If you're like mad that she's enjoying her life 5 years after your breakup, dude.
Also, if I'm still thinking about my ex from 5 years ago, like, I don't know. That's weird to me if you would get upset that your ex moves on. One thing to get upset if they move on quick.
Well, right. Well, do you want to talk about this? Because because like you're leading right, you're walking right into it, dude. Yeah.
Nah, fuck that.
All right. Yeah, I think it says more about you that you can't get over and like just be happy for a human being. Because you guys didn't end on bad terms necessarily, right? Like, and it's been 5 years.
Well, dude, I'm just dropping bombs in this. Basically, she left me. All right, so here's what happened. We were dating, obviously. We were having some difficulties. And
every relationship does.
Yeah. She went on a trip to Bali and met a guy who made her feel good.
You fucking yoga instructor?
Nah, I don't know. No, he lived in LA. It was like an influencer trip or whatever. Made her feel good, whatever. Got the validation she needed. Came back, broke up with me. Started dating that guy. That's basically the first breakup. That's how it went. And you know how
there wasn't even a gap. It was like, I have someone else lined up.
She never said that.
Yeah, okay.
She just came back and broke up with me.
Sure.
You know how I found that out?
Wow.
A fan.
Or they DM you or something?
They tagged me in a post.
Oh, God.
And they go like 16 reasons why Mark and his girlfriend may or may not have broken up. And she found videos from other influencers on the trip.
She FBI'd her.
She FBI'd for me. Like, I didn't even ask. And found videos of them always together, standing next to each other, like boomerangs by the fire, and tagged me in it. And I'm like,
who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah, right? Yeah, so that's how I found out.
That's insane. Wait, 2 questions. One, who is this person? Just super fan?
I guess, yeah. Well, this is back in the day when I was doing daily vlogs, so like I had a lot of like, I was getting tagged all the time and stuff.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah.
That's a pretty in-depth FBI mission.
Yeah, she did the work for me. And that's how I found out the actual truth.
Well, you guys were already broken up, though.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. It wasn't like,
but I was still,
hey, dude, what's this?
I was still like,
trying
to make it work.
Yeah.
You know, dude. Honestly, the how far I've come from my first breakup to this one.
It's crazy, right?
Dude, I was such a bitch.
Oh no!
When me and my first ex broke up, I was texting her like, "I'll do whatever it takes."
Yeah,
like
I've done that.
Oh my God, bro! I look back on it, I'm like, bro, you're such a pussy.
It's sad. I have an ex where I emailed her so much that she blocked my email.
You did not.
Yeah, I swear to God. Yeah.
How
it was
old
the
were you?
only form of communication.
How old were you?
This is like 4 years ago. Yeah,
That's too
pretty
recent,
bad.
Iggy.
Well, okay. To be fair, the change in me from 4 years ago to today is dramatic. But I remember it specifically. I remember it specifically because I'm pretty sure I caught COVID at Dan Bilzerian's
Halloween party?
Halloween
Or Valentine's?
Valentine. It was it's a Valentine's party. And I remember like it was so bad that I called my mom. Because I'm like, if it felt like COVID, based on what COVID is now, it felt like COVID. I couldn't fucking like keep my eyes open. I was sweating. I was like, my body was weak. I had to go to the ER because like I think it was like 103-degree fever, some crazy shit. I drove myself like an idiot. And in that like week window where I was like deathly ill, I emailed her multiple times. Like, I don't feel good. I miss you. Like, I'm sorry. Just it's bad. She had to block my email address. Yeah.
Oh my God, you're that guy.
Pretty bad. I used to be that guy.
But you did the work.
But that's what you said. Like, it's been 5 years ago. You were begging for homegirl to come back. Yeah, exactly.
Bro, the shit I was saying. Oh my
bad.
God, it's bad.
It's really bad.
But I'm thankfully not doing that this time. I'm like foot down. Like,
well, I mean, you also get like, you also don't like, you don't want to spend that energy anymore. It's like it was so much time and energy. Like it was all I couldn't do anything.
Yeah,
I couldn't work. I couldn't work out. All I did was sit and think about this thing.
I think since it was my first breakup too.
Like real breakup.
Ever? No, I was my
Oh
first.
wow,
yeah,
really?
That was my first relationship.
You moved in with your first girlfriend ever.
Yeah,
it's a very accelerated path.
Well, she moved in with me.
Okay, right.
Yeah. I just was like, I can't live my life without you. Like, my whole mentality back then was, I'm only gonna date someone if I see them with me the rest of my life.
That's not a bad mentality to continue to have.
Yeah, because I was always like, why am I gonna date someone that I don't think I'm gonna marry?
Sure.
So I was like, oh my God, like I'm never gonna find someone. So I was like, and also I think I was so worried about like, dude, we built the channel together. I'm like, oh my God, now I'm on my own. Like my whole business now. Like,
but don't you think that was more of you than it was her? Or did she have like a following as well when you guys?
I helped her build her YouTube following.
Yeah.
But
still, you literally built your page, like to be a relationship page.
Yeah. But I learned. Obviously, I healed from it. I became a better person, and now I'm learning from that first breakup through this one.
Sure.
What to do and what not to do.
Yeah.
And I'm doing all the things that made me better last time.
Well, you're working on you. She's working on having a baby. That sounds insane to me. A human being.
No, it took her a while to have the baby.
Yeah, I know.
That rebound dude they didn't last.
No, I get it.
That's what always happens.
She's what, relatively the same age as you? 30-ish?
I think she's a year older than me. Oh my God, I can't remember.
31.
I think she's 30.
Can you imagine having a child right now?
No.
It's psychotic. I have a dog and I'm barely good at doing that. It's crazy to think about I'm 37 and like, if I lived in Ohio or if I lived in anywhere but like LA or New York or whatever, like I should have a kid by now.
Have two.
It's a crazy thought. It's scary, dude. I can't imagine that. I can't imagine not having my time or like the ability to do whatever the hell I want to do.
Why do you think people in LA take so long to find love and grow a family?
I mean, dude, dating in LA is tough. And it's gotten harder.
Yeah.
Like I'm finding that we talked about this the other week. Like we were going to go to dinner. I didn't go to dinner because I didn't even want to be in a place where I could have drinks and like be out in the world. So like maybe it's a mentality thing now, but like in general, I mean, dating is so difficult in LA. People it's a place where there's beautiful people everywhere. And like the opportunity to go out and talk to people, it feels like there's so much opportunity that you don't ever settle down and pick.
Yeah.
Like if you grow up in a hometown with like 5,000 people in it, what are your options, right? If you stay in that hometown, it's like your options are so limited. Yeah. You find someone you care about and you're happy enough to go do that. It's living in LA. It's like you're in a supermarket with all your favorite foods. You only get to pick one and you never pick.
But I also think, well, from my end, I picked. The others, unfortunately, had their eyes on other people.
Sure.
But
they like the candy in the supermarket.
Yeah, exactly. It's easy for me to pick. But I think one of the big things is why dating's difficult here too. Values. And we're in this class called Still Life, and we put our values down. it's easy to fall in love with someone from your hometown because you have the same upbringing, the same morals, the same values. You pretty much
everything's aligned.
Everything's aligned.
Yeah.
And when you come to LA and you meet someone from a different part of the country, a different part of the world, you guys were raised two completely different ways and have different intentions with the rest of your life.
LA feels to me like it's such a selfish place. Like you're coming to LA to become something, right?
It's a narcissistic town.
You're pursuing your career. You want to be an actor or a creator or whatever. It's like, it's me when you get to LA. And it's so hard to find someone that's about like right? About creating like a family together. I think anyone that like leaves their hometown to come to LA is pursuing something selfishly, which is totally fine. But finding a relationship in that pool of selfish people is really tough.
I think my next relationship, I heard you fall in love 3 times in life.
Really?
Yeah. The third one's supposed to be the one. I think I'm going to focus on, right now, I'm just focused on myself. I'm not worried about the next relationship.
Yeah.
But just getting myself in a place where I can settle down and grow a family. Because that's something I want eventually.
We're also not getting younger, brother.
Yeah.
Getting older, man.
But talking about relationships, your videos on The Bachelor crushed on TikTok.
I'm actually pretty surprised.
Yeah.
Because I haven't been on for a long time. Like, I'm old in the Bachelor community and as a regular person. So I was pretty surprised.
And The Bachelor's popping right now.
Yeah.
What made you be able to say those things? Because everyone was commenting like, doesn't dude have an NDA?
I'll be honest. We do have an NDA.
Yeah.
I feel like the statute of limitations
It's probably up.
Yeah, it has to be, right? Like, it's been almost 7 years. I didn't look. Everyone's like, oh, his NDA's up. And my first thought was, is it? Like, I have no idea whether or not it's up. But it's been forever. And it's like, I feel like some of the stuff's pretty common knowledge now. Like, people know this shit isn't real. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I was certainly giving more insight as to my personal experience, but I feel like most people know that, like, that isn't real life. I'm still kind of a fan of some of these shows. My ex, bless her heart, really turned me on to like shitty reality TV.
Garbage TV.
I still like it, but like I'll like it, it's just background like filler noise. Love is Blind just came out on Netflix.
I keep seeing this.
Incredible.
Why?
Unbelievable. It's such amazing television. You know the concept generally, right?
Yeah, you are behind a wall or something.
Behind a wall, you can't, and like you have to pick just based on your conversations. Like the hope is that you fall in love with someone's values, right? Like like who they are as a person, how you connect, and not just what they look like. This one girl basically like finds a way to talk about how she looks. And she tells homeboy that she's like, I don't see it. And she's trying to be humble about it, right?
Yeah.
Like, but people tell me all the time that I look like Megan Fox. She looks like Mrs. Potato Head and Megan Fox had a baby.
Oh, no.
It's brutal. And like, not only is that bad, but
I actually saw this.
What, the Megan Fox thing?
Yeah.
It's so funny, bro.
Keep going with it because I think this is a good clip
It's
for
so
TikTok.
So I lovingly call her Reagan Fox. It's not Megan Fox. It's just like a weird like Wish.com version of her. And like 3 of the guys that are relatively popular, all of which have girlfriends back home, who are like coming forward like in a very loud way, like, fuck this guy. Like, I think one of them was engaged right before and like ghosted. One might have a kid. And then one apparently is gay. Like, it's fucking nuts, dude. And so all that to say, I think people know that it's not real. You know what I mean? Like, I said it explicitly, but there's 3 guys. One guy has a kid and one guy's gay going on a dating show. Or like
They're just trying to get popular.
That's it. They just wanted to get on TV.
So what's the aftermath of the show? Because this was obviously filmed a long time ago.
It's happening right now.
Yeah, but it's airing right now. So like,
so I think
does he stay with Megan Fox?
I don't know what happens now. There might be more episodes. So they released 6 on Netflix and then they release another 6. I think there's just one more set that comes out, or like maybe like a tell-all or something. Yeah. So it's all happening right now, and TikTok is fucking loving it. It's awesome. Everything in my algorithm is dogs, Love is Blind, or Call of Duty. That's my algorithm right now.
I need to start making my vlogs. I mean, honestly, this podcast, I've talked more openly about shit that I typically hid in the past.
Why?
I just like, I don't know, I protect people.
I mean, like, you didn't say anything damaging. You just talked about your side of the story.
Yeah, I understand. But
and it like, from like a friend perspective, but also from an outsider perspective, this world is like, it's interesting to me. Like, it's crazy how like your world operates.
Yeah,
it's cool.
But I think people love reality TV for the drama.
Yeah,
and I've always hated the drama.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
I don't know.
It's hilarious.
I just think that I love movies. I don't watch TV. I don't know what it is. Also, drop some Netflix movie recommendations in the comments because Netflix is fucking dry lately.
It sucks. It's bad.
Or Amazon Prime or Hulu. I have all of them.
I've been like, I was thinking about this on the way here. I don't even really listen to music anymore. I listen to podcasts. Like, the majority of my dead time, like when I go walk the dog or I'm in the car, I'm listening to a podcast.
Really?
I haven't listened to the new Drake album, the new Kanye. I haven't listened to like anything.
I don't like that kind of music, but
I listen to almost nothing.
The only time I listen to podcasts at the gym, but it's not a podcast. It's a compilation of motivational speakers with inspirational music underneath it. And they're like talking, like dude, it fires me up. I don't know why. I need to hear that. And I've listened to it so many times.
And it still works.
And I know what they're going to say. Like I memorize the lines that they're going to say and all the speakers. And it gets me going.
Your pump up music is like Ed Millette or whatever.
No, it's like the guy that's like, if you want to be, successful as bad as you want to breathe, then you'd be successful.
Sounds like David Goggins to me.
Yeah.
Is it?
He's in a ton of them.
Yeah.
Him, Tony Robbins, what's that? Jocko Willink. I can't stand him because he talks so slow.
It's very intense.
Need to put in the work and not bitch about it.
Just listen to it on 2X.
Yeah,
let's just get through it.
And then you got David Goggins, and there's like, I got up, running every day, 5 a.m., 20
David
miles.
Goggins is crazy, dude.
I was 400 pounds. I did 550 pull up, but I don't know.
Like
it fires
400
me
pounds
up.
in white.
It fires me
years
up.
ago. I don't. All of mine are like stupid comedic podcasts. It
like
just
Theo Von?
feels I love Theo.
Hilarious.
Shane Gillis is ridiculous.
Shane is so funny. What was the uproar about his SNL thing? Did they say he bombed or something?
I don't think so. I
thought
it was funny.
Yeah, I thought it was funny.
But I also think he's hilarious.
Yeah.
And because I've basically now listened to all the podcasts from that family tree, like Shane and Theo, and because of Theo, I started watching Bobby Lee. Because of Bobby Lee, I started watching Andrew Santino, and so now I have 10 different comedian podcasts that I watch all fucking day, and they come out every week. So I have something to binge all the time. That's new and guys that I think are hilarious. I don't listen to music. I don't watch shows except for Shogun that just came out.
Shogun?
On Hulu, yeah.
What's it about?
It's about colonialism, Spaniards getting into Japan and having this essentially Spain and I think Portugal. I don't know my history that well. Apparently, they divided parts of the world that they were they were still on wooden boats, right? They're trying to figure out if I go far enough this way, is there land anywhere? And so they're basically traversing the planet, and they're this is the line. You get this part, you get this part. And Japan is they've got samurais in their own culture and their own government system. And it's basically the story, maybe it's real, maybe I'm sure parts of it are, where it's how did Japan react to expansion from European countries? It's cool. I just like the whole Japanese vibe. I think it's
I don't know why I've never gotten into old movies or shows set in old times. Peaky Blinders, I never watched that. I never watched Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones was sick. Yeah, but that's not obviously it's not really old. It's made up shit.
But it's set.
You got dragons and shit.
Yeah, but it's set in an old era, right? The outfits
so
and all that.
Good, though.
I don't know why, and I've never gotten into superhero movies.
Marvel movies.
Never seen it.
What do you watch?
Never seen Avengers. Never seen Avatar.
What do you Hitchcock? Are you only watching no. Tarantino movies?
I like action movies.
That's fun.
Shooter, one of my favorite movies. I like Atomic Blonde. I like Lucy. Honestly, I really like female badass movies.
Female-driven movies?
Like where the lead's a female badass and like
right.
fucks people up.
Okay.
I don't know why I like those kind of movies.
All right.
Lucy's a really good movie. You seen that?
Lucy's, is it where she gets like these drugs
Scarlett
and make her
Johansson?
superhuman and shit? Yeah.
That movie's sick. Limitless. I mean, those
Right,
kind of movies
right.
are sick.
Watch Shogun.
Okay.
It's in the past, but it's fucking badass. I'm also just a fan of like the Japanese
Love the
historical
Japanese
culture. It's just like it's this like death before dishonor. Like they're so intense about everything they do. It's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like it's like everything they do is like around like honor and commitment and like just being the most badass motherfucker on the block. It's pretty cool. Watch it. It's a fun time.
I'll check it out.
Yeah.
I'm in a weird spot right now with like watching TV because, dude, TikTok has ruined my attention span.
Scroll.
It's just ruined my attention span. And with my routine right now, like my routine right now is wake up at 5 a.m., make my coffee, pop in a little fucking Zinski.
Gotta get something in you.
Go edit my podcast clips, come out, go downstairs and do fasted cardio, come back up, eat, go to the gym. And then now...
Wait. You do fasted cardio in the morning and then go to the gym?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
With the weighted vest on.
Nice.
And then shower and make my content. And
it's like 11 a.m. at that point?
Yeah, I finished all that today by like 10 a.m.
Holy crap.
Yeah, it was pretty nice.
That's awesome.
And then do my content. And then I'd rather play Call of Duty with my boys...
1,000,000%.
...than sit and watch a show alone.
If you can't afford a therapist... and you don't want to get sucked into the nightlife. I'm not saying you. I'm saying the world. Mm-hmm. If you can't afford a therapist and you don't want to get sucked into the nightlife, buy a PS5.
Yep.
Play some Call of Duty. If you're doing it with a couple buddies, it is like the most entertaining couple hours of downtime. Do all the rest of the shit you got to do.
Yeah.
But the downtime, I got nothing better right now. I got nothing better than playing Call of Duty with you guys for a little bit.
It's so fun.
It's the best.
And women don't understand it. They're like,
I wonder what that is about. But they never played video games growing up either.
Yeah. It is like the highlight of my day sometimes. Like
Yeah.
I look forward to being able to like virtually hang out with you guys and shoot heads.
On like just like a benign Tuesday when you got your work done. It's like 7 p.m. Nothing to do. Mm-hmm. No fucking shows on. It's the best, dude.
Yeah, they should get into something like that. It's therapeutic.
Although it is getting like, it does get frustrating because we obviously do it casually. Like I used to be good at video games. I can feel the age gap.
Why? Because I'm better than you?
Kids are so good, dude. Sometimes it's like unplayable.
Yeah.
I'm so bad sometimes it's unplayable. And knowing that like, I feel like it's an old athlete that like can't shoot anymore. It's like, I used to be able to do this. Why can't I do it anymore? My hands don't work the same. It's fucking frustrating.
I saw something about like, was it in Still Life where we talked about, by the way, we're in this course called Still Life and it's basically about values. Did I already say that?
A little bit.
I talked about it on a previous podcast and just trying to become a better person and get your values in line.
One day at a time.
But it was like, I can't remember if it was in Still Life or something I heard online about like, we sit and say that we have to grow up and be an adult, but really all of us are just kids, man.
Right.
That like get older.
That was Still Life.
Was it Still Life?
Yeah.
And that resonated with me, bro. Cause like sometimes I'm sitting there and I'm like, I need to grow up. I need to fucking get my shit together, have a family and kids and like grow up.
Yeah.
But like,
what
does that mean?
Yeah, exactly
dude?
right. Yeah.
Do you think you'll play COD? You're 37 still playing COD. Do you think you'll play it forever?
I'm going to play until I'm so bad that it's like, there are times where I want to break things that I'm so bad. Mm-hmm. When it gets to that point where every time I log on, I'm that bad, I will stop. Yeah. I will retire eventually. Like you talk about having kids and stuff. Like I've always pictured having a family. Yeah. Like I love my mom and dad. Like I had a great childhood. I want a family. I've always envisioned kicking my child's ass at video games forever.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to punk him when we play one-on-one. He's not going to beat me in Madden. Yeah. He's just not.
Yeah.
Like when he beats me in Madden, he can like, here's the keys. Like here's your car. You know what I mean? Fuck that.
It's funny because my nephew, when I go back to Ohio, he was playing like NBA 2K all the time.
Yeah.
Hadn't played it since college. Had not played since college 10 years ago. I'm like, I'm gonna smoke you, bro. I beat him by like 50 points.
Good. He needs it.
He needs it.
Good. It's character building, bro.
He was like 8 years old.
You know how many times I cried playing Madden because I couldn't win? So many times.
I was like, I'm not taking it easy on you,
Wait,
bro.
what's that guy who would like, oh God, I don't know if he was like a Florida State or something, but there was a college football player.
Yes, I saw that.
With like the Make-A-Wish kid.
Yeah, was it Jameis Winston or no?
No, I don't think it was Jameis. I don't know if the kid was. I don't know if it was like terminally ill.
I think
but
so,
he
yeah.
went to go see a kid who was like not doing well and bodied this kid like 98-0 in a game of Madden. I don't know if I'm going to be that bad, but I want to beat my kid in video games for as long as I possibly can.
Oh my God! Yeah, I saw that video. That's hilarious.
I don't know about 98 nothing. 0 mercy. Can you imagine being that kid? He just wanted to have a good time. He's just like fucking got like he has like stuff in his body. Yeah, this poor guy.
Here in my notes. So we went on a hike this weekend.
Yeah, it was good.
My buddy Patrick from out of town, he stayed with me. He struggled.
Yeah, it's because he fucking pounded 12 high noons for no reason the night before.
Yeah, so when I was being sober, Pat crushed 12 high noons.
Which, by the way, I kind of like Pat more as a result. Where he's like, you don't have to drink. I'm going to fucking pound 12 high noons by myself because I'm having a good time. I think it's fucking hilarious.
But we hiked Eagle Rock, which is in Topanga Canyon. Pretty decent hike.
I thought it was cool.
Muddy. It was muddy.
I slipped.
Yeah, you ruined your shoe. Well, he hiked in like $250 shoes.
No, they're not. They're just Nike running.
You said they were like
$200.
$200.
Yeah. But they were like designer. They're just like Nike running shoes.
What I thought was funny is I had my weighted vest on, and I'm hiking in white Vans. And
literally like pristine white Vans.
No. They were old. They
were so pretty clean.
And then as we're walking and hiking, we're walking past people with like full get up. Hiking boots,
the sticks,
jeans. They have the sticks, and I'm over here in Vans. Like, I don't think hiking's that hard. I don't know. I don't think that hike requires sticks.
No.
And
well, I mean, like if you're like 50, maybe
there were kids at the bottom. Do you see that?
Well, they're flexible. These little kids. Like if you're 50 and like you don't want to slip in the mud.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not a big fan of the hiking. Yeah,
you said you didn't like it. Why?
It's fine. Like I like being in nature, and I like soaking in nature. Like when we're hiking, so much of it is like, oh, you're out in nature and experiencing that. You're just looking down the whole time, and like it's not a workout. It's not really a workout.
Yeah, it is when you have the weighted vest on.
I mean, but like I could get a really good workout in 45 minutes at my gym. Like, I'm not doing this for working out.
Well, we did 6 miles, bro.
It's boring to me.
We did 6 miles. Hike was at 8 a.m. 7 a.m. Or what time we meet there? 7. We met at 7.
7:15.
Yeah, I got up at 5:30. Pat got up at 5:30 somehow after crushing 12 high noons. We drove out there. 12,000 steps by 9 a.m.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful, beautiful morning.
I felt great. I'm just...
And then Iggy's like, we got to go get this breakfast burrito, bro. Okay. It's the best breakfast burrito. And I go, is it?
It was better. It used to be better.
I was like, is it better than Erewhon? He's like, it's the best. That shit sucked.
It wasn't good.
What was it called again?
Dogtown.
Don't go to Dogtown.
I used to live right across the street like 6 years ago, and I'd get them literally every single... They were amazing 6 years ago.
Yeah.
They've fallen off.
If you do ever come to LA, I'm very anti-Erewhon. But the one thing that they have that is absolutely delicious is a bacon egg breakfast burrito.
The steak breakfast burrito is also
You like the steak one?
Yeah.
Probably the only thing worth getting at Erewhon.
If you're not from LA and you go to Erewhon, be prepared to spend $50 for a breakfast burrito.
Do not get the Haley Bieber smoothie is good, but $20 good?
So
no.
stupid.
I want to talk about something that you brought up on the hike. What did your accountant tell you?
My accountant basically told me that I was a fat fuck. Well, I did my taxes, and he basically was like, your line item for Uber Eats is disgusting.
How much a month?
You need to start making food. I'll give it to you. I'm not going to give you a number, but I'll tell you, I'll give you some perspective. For about at least 3 or 4 months, I would order Uber Eats twice a day.
Breakfast and dinner?
Breakfast and dinner. I usually wouldn't eat lunch because at the time I was like, I had a lot of work And I was like, I think I was taking like an Addy or something and like just like locking in for like 8 hours. So I didn't really eat lunch, but I would order twice a day.
That adds up.
And yeah, I know. Well, those transactions to me are like, they're smaller. Like I don't really like keep track of like like gas, right? It's like, but I didn't realize that it was like literally what, $50 it like every single fucking meal twice a day for months and months and months. It was really bad.
It adds up.
Called me a fat boy and told me to make food at home.
And when you make those little that's the danger with credit cards.
Totally.
You don't see it leave your account.
The little tiny transaction.
Oh yeah, like
$30.
Yeah,
it's fine, whatever.
Yeah.
But do that 1,000 times.
Face ID, boom.
Yeah, exactly.
Back to Call of Duty.
So
like,
bad. Yeah.
It does.
So I can't order. I can, but now I only order Uber Eats on the weekends.
There you go.
Yeah. I'm making food every day. Air fryer.
Okay.
Food every day, baby.
Making food every day.
Air fryer.
I got an air fryer. I put everything in it once.
I have to make it in the most simple fashion possible, or I'm not going to do it.
Well, that's why I meal prep.
Yeah, it takes time.
No, it does not. I put chicken in the crock pot. I walk away.
I'm already out. Crock pot?
Yes.
What am I, a fucking chef? No, put it. I want it just. If it takes me more than 20 minutes, I'm not going to do it.
It does not take 20 minutes.
You put it in a crock pot. It doesn't have to like.
Yeah, and then walk away.
How long?
4.5 hours.
0% chance I'm doing
But that's because I put frozen chicken in there. If you put fresh
Never
chicken,
doing
it's
it.
only like 2.5.
You know what I had this morning? I had chicken strips
In the
prepackaged.
air fryer?
Yeah. I put 4 eggs. You know, you can boil, you can hard boil eggs in the air fryer.
Hard boil?
Yeah.
You put them in there whole?
You put them in a hole with a shell.
Oh, wow.
And they come out like pretty good.
Can you set it to like hard boiled or medium boiled?
Yeah, just leave it there longer.
Oh, okay.
Chicken, hard boiled egg, cauliflower rice. Mashed it all together.
For breakfast.
Yeah. Is that weird?
Chicken for breakfast? Chicken strips for breakfast?
It was good. It was just the easiest thing to make.
I'm not eating as much as I should be right now, but here's my daily intake.
Hit me.
6 egg whites, 1 full egg.
This is the day.
Yeah, this is my day.
Okay.
This is morning. 6 egg whites, coffee, overnight oats with chia seeds, hemp seeds, blueberries, a little bit of peanut butter in there.
Which you also have to make.
But I pre-make it. It's just, it's there.
Go on.
Ginger shot. That's my
Nice.
That's my breakfast.
Okay.
Post-workout, do a little shake
Yeah.
with water and protein. That's it. No added. No.
You don't go milk in there?
Nope.
Water's gross,
I
dude.
do it at the gym. I just fill it with water.
Oh, that's even worse.
Fill it with water.
Why?
Because I don't want the added calories.
You say you're not eating enough.
Yeah, I know.
Put some milk in there,
I'm
dude.
trying to lose this fucking
some milk in there,
belly
dude.
fat. And then I'll do shrimp with rice.
That's good.
And then I'll do a red meat with like a red potato.
That's a great day.
Red potato or sweet potato.
Very healthy day.
But I'm not eating enough. I'm probably only intaking like 1,500 calories.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I probably had 15 before noon today.
And I don't know how I'm functioning today.
You got a Zinni, an extra Zinner up there getting you going, dude.
That's why my appetite's down too.
That's true.
Breakup.
That's true.
And nicotine.
Breakup will do it too.
Guys, so I got hooked on Zins thanks to Andrew Huberman. And you started because you saw this podcast.
Yeah.
This guy, I saw it on TikTok. For some reason, Zins were popping up all the time. And then Huberman pops up. He's like, nicotine's really good for you. And
it's neuroprotective. It protects your brain.
so I'm like, oh, apparently everybody's saying that this shit's going to help me focus.
It does.
So I start with a 3 milligrams and I take it and I'm like, whoa, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like buzzing right now. Made me shit immediately.
Yeah.
And then then I started to like use them a little more frequently.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden 3 milligrams weren't doing anything. And I'm like, all right, let me get the 6. And then I started doing the 6 and I was like, oh, back to the 3 milligram feeling. And now they don't do anything, but it's like an oral fixation thing.
Wait, no, it definitely, there's nicotine in your body. It's doing something.
Yeah, but I don't feel anything.
You would like crash if you didn't have them right now.
I tried to stop one day. I obviously went to bed. I woke up and I didn't take it till probably about 3 p.m. Bro, I had such bad brain fog.
Totally.
I didn't realize like how much of an effect it has on like the withdrawal of nicotine.
Totally.
I'm like,
that's why people can't stop smoking cigarettes.
I literally sat there. I'm like, yeah, I'm not addicted to this shit. Like, I'm going to stop.
I'm fucking freaking out. I'm not addicted
literally,
to this
I'm
shit.
like, I was driving and I'm like, dude, I think I'm either going to like faint or I'm going to drive off the side of the road because I don't know what's going on.
It was that bad for you?
It was so bad. I drove immediately to the tobacco store and got them. I was like a fiend, bro. I was like, give me the sixes.
How many are you taking a day? How many sixes are you popping in a day?
I would say, almost a 10 a day. So that's 15.
That's not true.
Yeah.
15 pouches.
Almost a 10 a day.
So like 10 pouches a day.
Probably, yeah.
60 milligrams of nicotine a day.
Yeah.
That's not neuroprotective. That's now bad.
I know. That's
you can't have that many.
How do I wean off? Do I go back to the threes?
I honestly... Okay, if Huberman could hear us, how do you wean off of fucking Zins? Okay, that should be your next episode, dude. That's fucking crazy, dude.
But it's interesting because with alcohol, you can just stop. I mean, unless you're addicted. But like drinking, I can just stop cold turkey.
Well, that's why cigarettes are so like, that's why nicotine is like such a scary, and like, that's why people are like, can't quit smoking.
Yeah.
It's so addictive.
If you have tips for stopping nicotine, please let me know in the comments because I really don't want to do these anymore. But
10's a lot, bro. I didn't know you were doing that many.
Yeah.
That's a ton, dude.
There's honestly never an hour I don't have them in.
No way.
Unless I'm sleeping, which by the way.
Yeah.
So I went out one night, got hammered. I wake up in the morning and I have a fucking Zin in my mouth.
So fucking bad, dude.
I slept the whole night
bad.
with a Zin in my mouth.
What's the most random / embarrassing thing you've woken up to after a bender in your bed? Not human. Zin?
I woke up with a Zin.
Where you're like, that's gross? Is that the grossest or weirdest thing?
Or I woke up completely butt-ass naked one time.
No recollection of why you were
No recollection of how I got butt-ass naked. And I don't sleep naked.
Okay.
Yeah.
I had a pizza.
What do you mean you had pizza?
Slice of pizza.
In your bed?
Yeah.
Was it
like,
bitten?
I remember, it was kind of smushed on. Yeah. I remember like getting home super fucking hammered. And I had, what's a pizza that we like?
Lucifer's?
Yeah. I had Lucifer's and I had like a slice and it was cold. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so fucking pumped for this. I wash up, I get ready for bed. It's like 4 in the morning. I'm dying, but I'm so excited to eat this pizza. Mm-hmm. I put it on my chest. It was on a paper napkin on my chest in bed. I'm like Winnie the Pooh. I'm just so excited to eat. And in between me putting it on my chest and like finding a show, you know that moment when you're looking for a show and you can't find anything and like you kind of start to doze off? I was hammered, so I passed out. And when I woke up, I remember like just this gooey stuff on my shoulder. What the fuck is that? I turn over, it's just a whole slice of Lucifer's pizza on my shoulder. It was good.
Did you eat it?
100% I ate it. I actually have not told that story to anybody. There was zero part of me that wasn't going to eat that fucking pizza.
That's so gross.
Still pretty good, dude. That's still good.
Oh my gosh.
I am as much of a human gorilla as you're gonna meet, dude. It was good.
You should have taken that one to the grave.
Nah, pizza was great. Shout out Lucifer's. It's good.
That had me wanting to ask something. Oh, what is the best thing to come home to after a night out? Besides a
human? Besides your girl at home?
Yeah. I don't know. That's a stupid question.
No. Like, are we talking food wise or just like when you come home, there's that one thing that like, yes, I'm so glad to be home.
I don't even know why I asked that question or what I had in mind. I was thinking of the glass of water that I put next to my bed.
I was going to say, so I really like, you ever heard of Roar? They're like these like healthy Gatorades. Mm-mm. Like a fucking crisp. We'll call it a Gatorade. We'll call it a Gatorade for all intents and purposes. Like a fucking crisp, cold Gatorade after not having a sip of water for fucking 6 hours and only drinking tequila. Fantastic.
Remember that one house party we went to completely sober till 7 a.m?
I will remember that until my dying days, my friend.
Me and Iggy were on a sobriety kick. This is a couple years ago, probably.
Yeah.
Like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
We go to highlight room. Everybody's getting fucked up. Then for whatever, we're sober. We're drinking. I was drinking ginger ale.
I am pounding sugar-free Red Bull.
Yeah, I was drinking ginger ale. they're like, oh, we're going to a house party, after party. We go to that after party. The rooms in there, that house
fucking weird house, dude.
Weird energy.
I remember it being like far too. It wasn't like in the cool Hollywood Hills. It was like a 30-minute. I think it was in the valley. Yeah, it was deep.
And we just stayed up till the sun rose.
But every room had like a different vibe to it, and the common theme was like very cracky. It was like
I'm pretty sure there were orgies going on.
There was one room that had like felt all over it.
Yes.
And like a weird little, and it was like fucking hot because no air escape. You couldn't have your shoes on. It was fucking weird, man.
Have you ever been in an LA orgy?
No. I mean, I know they exist for sure.
Right.
I don't know if I'm an orgy guy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like, I don't know if I want to be in a room where there's like 8 other wieners hanging out. Like a casual setting. I just don't know if I want to do that.
I'm not doing that either. To each their own, though.
Totally. And to each, apparently, 8 other people's wieners at some point.
Yeah, no thanks.
I'm good. Yeah.
But, all right, man, we're at like an hour now.
What a great way to end the podcast. You and wieners? No.
Yo, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. It felt good to talk, and, you guys learned a little bit about, the fallout and what happened. But if you have any questions, comment them down below, or any other topics you want us to talk about in the next episode. Like I said, I'm going to be posting interviews on Monday, and then I think Thursday we're going to try to get this one out. And had a fun time, bro.
Love you, buddy.
Love you too, man. Subscribe. We'll see you guys.